Don't limit yourselves, when you're young. Explore, as many opportunities as you possibly can. Try stuff. Try and see whether you like it. Because you don't know if you don't try. My name is David Blackburn. I'm the Chief People Officer of the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. We protect all regulated financial products in the UK. And since our launch in 2001, we've come to the aid of millions of customers and paid out billions in compensation. My role encompasses the end-to-end employee lifecycle, from planning, attraction, retention, recruitment, learning and development, diversity and inclusion, and sending you off into the sunset, hopefully having had a really successful career at the FSCS. Network is a really loaded word. So you've got to network more and you've got to be good at networking. That's a whole different conversation, I won't think. But I think understanding that the roles that people play in your life and in your career. So, who are people, who are peers that you go to and use as a sounding board? Who have you got someone who could be a mentor or a coach? Have you got someone who you see as a role model that you aspire to be? Those are the questions that people need to ask about. Your network is the people that surround you, whether that be in your personal or your professional life. Have you got someone who challenges you? Have you got someone who you can always rely on to tell you the truth? Have you got someone who's got your back? All of those things. And I think that's the thing that often people start in the wrong place. They think having a network is 400 contacts on LinkedIn. Well, no, that's not the same thing. The thing is, it's the roles that these people play. And particularly for young people, I think it's really important that you have role models or mentors or coaches that you have identified that you think, actually, I could learn something from that individual if I understood something about that journey. And equally, sponsors are really important. So difference between a sponsor and a mentor is a sponsor might not be spending the time, one-on-one time with you. We have a Black Talent sponsorship program in our organisation. The sponsor is the person who speaks up for you. So actually, my sponsee last year, Teresa, has now been promoted, but that's because actually when people come and ask me about Teresa, I say she's a bit of a superstar. So a sponsor is also those people in your network who know you and then say, oh, have you thought about James for this opportunity? I think what I figured out quite early on is that people work better when they can be themselves. And, that's really one of my sort of mantras. And so having the courage to be candid, having the authenticity is a phrase that's used a lot, so authentic leadership has become a real buzz phrase over the last decade. What does that mean? It means, being being yourself first and a leader second, and recognizing that, the way in which I deliver things is unique to me. Now, that doesn't mean that, you behave any way you want, because we work in a corporate world and an organizational world that has, values and things. But I think being true to your values and ethos and treating people as you would like to be treated, which is a really simple idea. I think I recognized that quite early on. I think that is that's the thing that unlocks relationships with people. And the other thing that, you have to have trust. Trust. It's really interesting that, today trust has become a really big issue in the last, trust in institutions, trust in the government. Do you trust what they're telling us about, any topic, absolutely any topic. But trust is absolutely fundamental. And in order to gain trust, you have to give trust. So you have to extend it. You can't wait for, you have to be vulnerable and extend trust to people. And I think I learned that quite early on, and that's been helpful. Two things I think are on my list. So one is you have to be a good listener. So we have a tendency at the start, particularly at the start of our careers, that you want to impress. So you want to impress the boss. You want to make an impression. You want to, and I think so. And what sometimes gets lost in that is really choose your words wisely, I would always say. And actually to be really impactful is by listening. One of the reasons I think I have been quite successful in my career is I really understand the organizations that I work for. And the reason I understand them is because I listen. So ask lots of questions. So rather than holding forth and saying, I think, ask lots of questions and listen a lot, because that's how you learn. And equally, line managers and leaders will notice that. When I think about myself at that age, when I was young, and if I could go back and say something to myself, I would say, don't be so hard on yourself. I would say, cut yourself some slack. It will turn out all right. As long as you live a life that is, rooted in a set of values, that, you treat people with respect, you're honest, you work hard. I mean, all of those, it seems, but that is the stuff that builds, you want to build, what you're building is the foundations of the rest of your life. And so you don't know all of the answers, and you are at the beginning of the journey. And the beginning of the journey is both exciting and scary, but I have absolutely no doubt it will take you to an exciting destination. And I think that's the thing. Don't rush to the answer, to the outcome, to the end, to the thingy, because you're only just starting, and that might seem a little scary, but the journey is as important as reaching the destination.